Theme 9, Kings and Chronicles, the Mughal Courts, circa 16th 17th centuries. The rulers of the Mughal Empire saw themselves as appointed by divine will to rule over a large and heterogeneous populace. The Mughals and their empire, they referred to themselves as Timurids, as descendants of the Turkish ruler Timur on the paternal side. Babur, the first Mughal ruler, was related to Genghis Khan from his mother's side. He spoke Turkish and referred derisively to the Mongols as barbaric hordes. The founder of the empire, Jahiruddin Babur, was driven from his Central Asian homeland Fargana by the warring Uzbeks. He first established himself at Kabul and then in 1526 pushed further into the Indian subcontinent in search of territories and resources to satisfy the needs of the members of his clan. His successor, Nasiruddin Humayun, expanded the frontiers of the empire but lost it to the Afghan leader Sher Shah Sur, who drove him into exile. Humayun took refuge in the court of the Safavid ruler of Iran. In 1555, Humayun defeated the Surs but died a year later. Many consider Jalaluddin Akbar the greatest of all the Mughal emperors. Akbar succeeded in extending the frontiers of the empire to the Hindu Kush mountains and checked the expansionist designs of the Uzbeks of Turan, Central Asia, and Safavids of Iran. Akbar had three fairly able successors in Jahangir, Shahjahan, and Aurangzeb, much as their characters varied. After 1707, following the death of Aurangzeb, the power of the dynasty diminished. In 1857, the last scion of this dynasty, Bahadur Shah Jafar II, was overthrown by the British. The production of Chronicles. Chronicles commissioned by the Mughal emperors are an important source for studying the empire and its court. So their titles such as Akbar Nama, Shahjahan Nama, Alamgir Nama, that is the story of Akbar, Shahjahan and Alamgir, a title of the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb, suggest that in the eyes of their authors, the history of the empire and the court was synonymous with that of the emperor. Chagatai Turks traced descent from the eldest son of Genghis Khan, now from Turkish to Persian. Mughal court chronicles were written in Persian. Under the sultans of Delhi, it flourished as a language of the court and of literary writings, alongside North Indian languages, especially Hindavi and its regional variants. So, their first ruler, Babur, wrote poetry and his memoir in this language. So, in which language? In the Turkish language, because as the Mughals were Chagatai Turks by origin, so Turkish was their mother tongue. But it was Akbar who consciously set out to make Persian the leading language of the Mughal court. Cultural and intellectual contacts with Iran, as well as a regular stream of Iranian and Central Asian migrants seeking positions at the Mughal court, might have motivated the emperor to adopt the language, Persian. So, a new language, Urdu, sprang from the interaction of Persian with Hindavi. So, Mughal chronicles such as the Akbarnama were written in Persian. Others, like Babur's memoir, were translated from the Turkish into the Persian Baburnama. Translations of Sanskrit texts such as the Mahabharata and the Ramayana into Persian were commissioned by the Mughal emperors. The Mahabharata was translated as the Razamnama, Book of Wars. And let's look at some of these words in this box. A lamp of wisdom, Chirage Sinasai, a letter Khat is the portrait of wisdom. In Abul Fazl's words, now back to this point 2.2, the making of manuscripts. All books in Mughal India were manuscripts. That is, they were handwritten. The center of manuscript production was the imperial Kitab Khana. Although Kitab Khana can be translated as a library, it was a scriptorium, that is, a place where the emperor's collection of manuscripts was kept and new manuscripts were produced. And guilders to illuminate the pages. The creation of manuscript involved a number of people performing a variety of tasks. So Akbar's favorite was the Nastaliq, a fluid style with long horizontal strokes. I think they are talking about calligraphy, a folio in Nastaliq, the work of Muhammad Hussain of Kashmir. The painted image. The historian Abul Fazl described painting as a magical art. In his view, it had the power to make inanimate objects look as if they possessed life. In praise of tasveer, masterpieces worthy of a Vehjat may be placed at the side of the wonderful works of the European painters who have attained worldwide fame, a Mughal Kitabkhana in the figure. So, the Safavid kings of Iran, for example, patronized the finest artists who were trained in workshops set up at court. The names of painters, such as that of Vehjat, contributed to spreading the cultural fame of the Safavid court far and wide. Some were brought to the Mughal court, as in the case of Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdus Samad, who were made to accompany Emperor Humayun to Delhi. Akbar's court historian Abul Fazl cites the emperor as saying, "There are many that hate painting, but such men I dislike. It appears to me that an artist has a unique way of recognizing God when he must come to feel that he cannot bestow life on his work." The Akbarnama and the Badshah. So each manuscript contained an average of 150 full or double page paintings of battles, sieges, hunts, building construction, court scenes, etc. The author of the Akbarnama, Abul Fazl, grew up in the Mughal capital of Agra. He was widely read in Arabic, Persian, Greek, philosophy, and Sufism. So, moreover, he was a forceful debater and independent thinker who consistently opposed the views of the conservative ulema. These qualities impressed Akbar, who found Abul Fazl ideally suited as an advisor and a spokesperson for his policies. One major objective of the emperor was to free the state from the control of religious orthodoxy. Beginning in 1589, Abul Fazl worked on the Akbarnama for 13 years, repeatedly revising the draft. The chronicle is based on a range of sources, including actual records of events, waqe, official documents, and oral testimonies of knowledgeable persons. The Akbarnama is divided into three books, of which the first two are Chronicles. The third book is Ain Akbari. The first volume contains the history of mankind from Adam to one celestial cycle of Akbar's life, 30 years. The second volume closes in the 46th regnal year 1601 of Akbar. The very next year, Abul Fazl fell victim to a conspiracy hatched by Prince Salim and was murdered by his accomplice Bir Singh Bundela. The Akbarnama was written to provide a detailed description of Akbar's reign in the traditional diachronic sense of recording politically significant events across time, as well as in the more novel sense of giving a synchronic picture of all aspects of Akbar's empire, geographic, social, administrative, and cultural, without reference to chronology. Now, what is a diachronic account? A diachronic account traces developments over time, whereas a synchronic account depicts one or several situations at one particular moment or point of time. In the Ain Akbari, the Mughal Empire is presented as having a diverse population consisting of Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, and Muslims, and a composite culture. Travels of the Badshah Nama in this box, and a people of Abul Fazl Abdul Hamid Lahori is known as the author of the Badshah Nama. Emperor Shahjahan, hearing of his talents, commissioned him to write a history of his reign modeled on the Akbarnama. The Badshah Nama is this official history in three volumes, daftars of 10 lunar years each. Lahori wrote the first and second daftars comprising the first 2 decades of the emperor's rule, and these volumes were later revised by Sadullah Khan, Shahjahan's wazir. Okay. The Asiatic Society of Bengal, founded by Sir William Jones in 1784, undertook the editing, printing, and translation of many Indian manuscripts. So, edited versions of the Akbarnama and Badshahnaama were first published by the Asiatic Society in the 19th century. In the early 20th century, the Akbarnama was translated into English by Henry Beveridge after years of hard labor, and only excerpts of the Badshahnaama have been translated into English to date. The text in its entirety still awaits translation.